Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Bill here. Welcome back to my channel. We are in the tail end of another late spring snowstorm here in the Rockies. I have to tell you, spring skiing has been absolutely phenomenal here in Utah. But we're not here to talk about snow or skiing. We're here to talk about the Rim to Rim hike. And this will be part 3 of my series of 4 things not to do on your Rim to Rim hike. Let me jump right into it. Number 1, don't forget to bring a secondary light source with you. Very important. When you leave early in the morning, it is going to be pitch black on the trail. And the last thing you want to do is be fumbling around in the dark if your primary light source goes out, fumbling around in the dark looking for batteries, trying to figure out where the battery's polarity are, how the polarity fits into your light source. You just simply don't want to do that in the pitch black. It's really, really hard. So when I did my second Rim to Rim, I actually started with fresh batteries, and I'm not sure what happened, but about an hour and a half into the hike, on that hike I left at 3 o'clock in the morning, and about an hour and a half into the hike, my headlamp went out. And fortunately, I had that secondary light source with me, so I could get my batteries very easily and get them back into the headlamp, and I was up and running in 2 minutes. So a couple of other things about the secondary light source. The first is that know exactly where it is. In fact, my recommendation is you keep it on your body in one of your pockets. Know exactly where it is so you don't have to fumble around in the dark to try and locate it. And the second thing I'd suggest considering is what I brought with me was a tiny flashlight, and the kind I brought with me also had a little clip on the front of it. So if it turned out that my primary light source was out, I could still clip that to my baseball cap and continue to hike down the trail. So that is issue number 1. Okay, issue number 2. I was hiking on the Bright Angel Trail, and I was probably about a half a mile below 3 Mile House. And I came across this couple that were struggling. And the wife, in this case in particular, was having a really rough time. And she was so dispirited. She was so discouraged. And I asked her why she was feeling so discouraged, and she said to me that she had been training for the hike, and yet on the way back up to the South Rim, people were continually passing her. And I understand the psychodynamics of the conceptualization of being left behind. But let me just go back to some basic things that you knew when you started the hike. Number 1, you've been training throughout the summer. Your body knows what pace it wants to walk at. It knows what stride it wants to take. Don't worry about people passing you on the hike. It's absolutely irrelevant. Walk your hike, not someone else's hike. So listen to your body in terms of what pace to keep and the length of strides to take. You just want to work your program. Don't worry about someone else's process that they're using to get up to the top. So let me take you to my third issue. And I know that this could be somewhat controversial, but I want to put it out there anyway. As I was hiking up the South Kaibab Trail, I came across this woman below 3 Mile House, and she was struggling. She was just really struggling. And I asked her if she was hiking alone, and she said no, she was with her husband, but he was up ahead just a little bit. So I asked her husband's name so I would give him a report on her. And I was hiking, and I was hiking. I finally caught up to the husband. He was like a mile and a half ahead of her. And I said to him, I just talked to your wife almost 40 minutes ago, and she is really struggling to get up out of the canyon. And his response was, well, she'll be okay. And I thought to myself, what a D word. So my third point is, don't leave your wife or your significant other behind you on the trail. It's isolating for them, and there's no need to do it. Slow down your pace if you need to, but stay with your spouse, stay with your significant other. Don't abandon them. And that takes me to issue number 4. And issue number 4 is, don't overpack your pack. You know, when you get to the North Rim or the South Rim and you see the sheer magnitude of this hike, it is, honestly, it can be fairly intimidating. And I think that intimidation can translate into you overstuffing your pack. When I did both my trips, at 71 I did the north to south route, and at 72 I did the dreaded south to north route. When I did both my trips, I had my pack down to 6.5 pounds. And by the way, I was chided by some rim to rim people for it being too heavy at 6.5 pounds. But I had it down to 6.5 pounds, and it served me well. So look at what you're bringing. Keep the weight down to a minimum, and across the length of the hike, it'll pay dividends for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of my 4 things not to do when you're hiking rim to rim. I hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you on the trail.